Alright, scholars, this is Mr. Inzunza with you again. We're doing our test corrections. This is problem number 7, which says, and if those of you at 7th period, there you go. So, find the indicated nth partial sum of the arithmetic sequence. So they want you to find the partial sum, okay, which means that, well, in this case they gave you, which means they want you to find the sum of the first certain amount of terms. In this case, they want n is 70, meaning the first 70 terms. And there's different ways to approach this problem. Obviously, you could list the first 70 terms and add them by hand. But does that really make sense to do that? The answer is no. You don't want to do that. So there is a formula way to do this. And you guys will notice in your IB packet, there was actually a couple of formulas. And there was one, the first one, which was longer, which was this one right here, which is S of n, meaning the sum of the terms that we're talking about. In this case, it's 70, but right now I'm just going to list the formula, and then underneath we'll actually plug it in and do it. It's S of n equals number of terms over 2 times twice my first term plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, so in this problem, then obviously we're going to need to find a few things. One, use of 1, but in this case, actually, it's right there. We don't have to find it. But d, the common difference, we do have to find. So let's see what that is. Now, as you recall from before, we've done it tons of times. To find d, all you got to do is subtract two terms that are right next to each other. You subtract the later one by the previous one. So, for example, in this case, you can subtract 1.3 minus negative 1.7. So let me do this. Well, let me sneak it in right here. So it's going to be 1.3 minus negative 1.7. Be very careful because this is a double negative here, which means it's going to turn into a positive. So the common difference here is going to be 1.3 plus 1.7, which ends up being 7 plus 3 is 0, carry 1. It's 3.0, which is 3. Okay, so D is 3. So now let's just go ahead and take our information, plug it in, and boom, we're done. Now, this is an excellent choice to do this problem because when we do it the second way, I'll show you and you'll know why. So let's plug it in. So we want S for 70 terms. So 70 equals, how many terms do we have? Well, we have 70, right? For 70 terms. 70 over 2 times twice my first term. Well, my first term is negative 1.7, so we plug it in. Plus n minus 1. Well, if you remember here, n, or S of n, is here, which we said was 70, so we plug in our 70. 70 minus 1 times d, the common difference, which we found over here, remember? Which was 3, 3.0 or 3. This is a point right here, so be careful. It's not 30, it's 3.0 or 3. Now, and remember how we got that. This minus this, or this one minus that. It will give you the same answer. Doesn't matter. So let's plug it in, and we get 3, right? And so there's that, and then there it is. So now all we got to do is just go ahead and basically punch all this in the calculator, and it should give us our final answer, and see what we get. So the sum of the first 70 terms is, well, here we go. Now, I'm going to do it one section at a time. I'm going to work from in the parentheses and work my way out. I don't want to do it all in one shot in the calculator because then a little mistake, a little parentheses error could throw it all off. So I'll just do it a couple steps, in 2 or 3 steps, and then we'll finish it off. Well, 70 divided by 2, well, that's 35. So we'll leave that there, right there. And then let's see. Let's multiply these two guys in here. So that's negative 1.7 times a positive 2. That's going to give you a negative 3.4 plus whatever this is. Well, let's see what that is. This 3 is being multiplied by all that, right? So, but before we do that, let's just go ahead and subtract those two, right? So that will give me 70 minus 1 is 69. 69 times 3, and that will actually give me 207. Now, all we got to do is combine these two, or add them, right? And then multiply by 35, and that should be my answer. And let's see what we end up with. 207 plus a negative 3.4, that gives me 203.6. 203.6 times 35. So 203.6, and then times my 35, which is going to give me a final answer of 7,126. So if I want to add the terms of this specific sequence right here, starting with the first term, then going to the second one, the third one, the fourth one, all the way to the 70th term, this is what they're going to add up to, 7,126. So this is one option for you to do this problem. It is a great option. There's nothing wrong with doing it this way. This is the first formula in your IB packet. It's on there. And the cool thing about this, like I said, is that in this problem, it actually helps out and it's quicker. So let's go over here and let's do it by using the second formula, and you'll see that it's a little bit, as Mr. McCaffrey likes to say, hairier, because you have a little extra work to do. So let's examine the second formula. Is the sum of the first, whatever terms we want to look for, in this case it's 70, but I'm just going to list the formula right now. It's n sub 2 times the sum of the first term plus my last term. Okay, well this formula looks a lot simpler. So we should, you're thinking, well, why wouldn't I use this one? Well, let's plug everything that we have in and see why maybe that one is a better option for this specific problem. So let's see. The sum of the first 70 terms, because that's what we want, right? So remember, we're just doing this problem a different way, just so you have options. Is 70 over 2 times the sum of my first term and my last term. Well, my first term is negative 1.7 plus my last term. My last term is this. Oh, what happened? Do I know my 70th term? Now, I know I saw this mistake. Be very careful. This is not 70. This is the 70th term, right? So we got to find the value of the 70th term so that we can plug it in here. That's why the first formula was a better choice for this problem, because now what we have to do is find the 70th term first, plug it in, and then finish. So let's go ahead and do that. Remember, to find our 70th term, what we're going to do is find the formula for the nth term, which is a sub n equals a1 plus n minus 1 times d. Well, you know a sub 1, we have it on the list, it was a negative 1.7, right? Plus n minus 1 times d. And we know d was, we said it was 3, so you plug in your 3 right there. Now, what term are we looking for again? The 70th term, right? So this is actually a sub 70, which means that your n is now 70, right? So all you have to do is change your n to a 70, solve it, and that's going to give us our 70th term. Now, this may look very similar or familiar to something we did over there, but we'll talk about it right now. So here we go. We get negative 1.7 plus 69 times 3, which equals, let's see, let's go ahead and do this. So we get 69 times 3 plus 1.7, and this should look somewhat familiar. We end up getting, be careful, I put a positive 1.7. Nope, it's 69 times 3 plus a negative 1.7. Shoo! See how easy you mess up, guys? It's easy, so be careful. This is 205.3. And actually, that mistake I just made right now, that 208.7, it's wrong. I saw a lot of you put that, which means you made the same mistake I just did, or almost made. Well, actually did right now, but I didn't write it. But this is negative, so you got to make sure you subtract that. So this is actually my 70th term. So now I take this information and plug it over here. And now I can finish that problem. So let's go ahead and do it. 205.3 plus a negative 1.7 times 70 over 2, which we said was 35. And look what it gives you. The sum of the first 70 terms is 7,126. Of course, it gives you the same answer because it's the same problem. But all we're doing here is you can use this method, which is basically two different methods combined so that you can complete the problem. Or, if you follow me over here, you can use the method we use here, which is using the first formula in your IB packet. So, remember, this is the big long formula, and then it has an equal sign next to it, and then it has this over here. So you could choose either or, but just remember, if you choose this one, you have an additional step. If you choose this one, you can do it all in one shot. And that's it, guys. Have fun.